Alright, what's going on? VC, I'm back with you. I've got more to discuss after the Flying Nun video. Thank you to everyone for checking that out. I wanted to sort of do something today, sort of in a Mazzy's mix type thing that I know he likes to do, where he just sort of compiles a bunch of things together, a bunch of different topics, and I have a lot of responses I want to respond to, and some other updates and whatnot, and kind of blue. Let's talk about what I'm playing in the background. It's the Taj Mahal Travelers. Just finally got this when I got my Screamers record, which I'll have to show in another video. Proper new records in my life, but this is July of 1972, reissued by the ETOTS Units label number 239. Very out Japanese psychedelia. Need to get their other one that was recorded. I think it's a studio record that A Gear reissued. Pretty far out and droney and heady. So the first I want to discuss is Record Store Day, which is this Saturday. Drop one. I want to bring it up because, you know, I know there's always a lot of discussion around it, and lovers, haters. I don't really buy much of it. I participate in that. I work for Angry Mom that day, and it's obviously a very busy day. I help out, you know, cashing out customers in the morning, and then, you know, all day behind the counter, and of course we're working on online sales after 1 o'clock. So I'm big on dealing with that as well. You know, over the years there's been a lot of great records actually have come out on Record Store Day, and I actually think it's, I'm not a hater. I mean, there's definitely tons of garbage and so much waste and so many dead records. At Angry Mom, we make sure that everything is gone by Monday. We sell as much as we can, and we keep dropping the price until it sells. We obviously shift a bunch online, and sometimes it goes below cost or at cost, but if we keep some of these titles around, you've been in these stores. Steve Carlson showed at one store, Record Den. I was just like, it's mind-blowing how much money is sunk into these records, and they're not going to sell. 50% off, 60% off, 70, 80. You know, it gets a stink on it, it doesn't sell. But Angry Mom, we move it. In any case, I've found there's been some great records that have come out on Record Store Day, and I have actually a soft spot in my heart because I was part of the very first one. I didn't I didn't come up with the concept or anything, but I was working at the record company at that time. In 2008, I actually was very much involved in an event. Actually, it was my event at the record store in Brooklyn called Sound Fix. I helped put it on with the owner, James. Regina Spektor did an in-store. And I actually found video, and you can actually see me. I'll put it in here. You can actually see me hanging out on the side from 2008, Soundfix Records in Brooklyn on Bedford Avenue. It closed down, actually a bunch of years now, but that was the first one, and we didn't know what to expect. There were 5 releases. I'll see if I can find a picture. I remember they were all 7 inches. It was 5 releases. One of them was like Vampire Weekend, maybe like Death Cab for Cutie, Built to Spill maybe. That's it. I remember them just sitting on the counter. And Regina Spektor played at the in-store, and it was a huge hit. I went to other music that day, and tons of people were out. But it was really just a day to celebrate the stores. And I think a lot of like free merch and free things were being given out. And obviously since then it's been a big deal. The years following, when I was working for the record company, we'd go to all the different stores and say hi. And then when I lost my job, I ended up just going. For a while I would go and buy and flip for the first couple, those between like 2010 and 11 and 12 maybe. Then I stopped doing that, and I got my own distributor account, and I was able to actually buy some records, and that's where this comes in. I'm going to show you just the few things that I have that I'm buying, or actually I'm selling a couple of these records if you're interested. This is the one record I took home from Angry Mom for Record Store Day Saturday. Flaming Lips, Soft Bulletin, The Companion. I just listened to this. It's a promo-only CD originally, and it includes all the extra stuff that wasn't on the Soft Bulletin, plus proper stereo mixes of Zyrika. I'm a Flaming Lips fan. So this is cool. This is the one thing I took home from Angry Mom. And I'm going to try to be relatively quick because I got a lot to show here. The 2 records that I bought from my distributor that are, one of them is technically Record Store Day official, one is not. I pulled copies aside for myself, and then I have a few to sell. If anyone's interested in either of these 2, let me know. Otherwise, I'll sell them on eBay. This is Raven. George from Angry Mom assured me that this is amazing. Back to Ohio Blues. It's somewhat in the George Brigman Circuit Rider sort of pantheon of out there biker rock, and I love those records. It's from 1975. Messed up bluesy hard rock biker statement, which I'm told comes straight from this guy's reality. No posing, but the real thing. Originals are 4 figures. It has been, I think, unofficially reissued before. This is an official by Permanent Records. This is an official RSD list title, so I guess I'm getting 2. So there's that. And OCs. This is non-official, but it's coming out on Record Store Day. I collect all the OCs records. This is San Francisco, October 2nd, 2019, a live show. Meant to look like a bootleg. I haven't opened this yet. Nor the Raven. So I'm getting to those. That's my Record Store Day thoughts. That's it. Hope it's a great day out there for everyone. And whether you're shopping, working, whatever it is. I do, as I said, tons of garbage. But there's some good titles in there. The Ithaca Agincourt record was a Record Store Day title, and that's what blew my mind. One of the greatest records ever. One of the greatest compilations ever. That was from 2019. Alright, next topic. A while ago, Tuco did the contest about what record do you love so much, it's so important you love, you wish you could hear again. And I did Mogwai's Young Team, and I was inspired to hear about some of other people's picks on something like that. Dave, Localbandography, I believe was talking about how he would love to hear Lungfish for the first time. He's always talked about how much of a Lungfish fan he is. Well, I decided I'm going to do that for his record for me. I've always wanted to check out Lungfish. I never had. I used to have a Daniel Higgs sort of CD book. I since sold that. I don't think I ever really gave that a fair shot, but I've probably heard some Lungfish here and there, but I've never really listened to an album proper. Well, I decided to buy the one that Dave, I believe, recommended, Indivisible, on Discord. This is out of print. Got this for really cheap because of this little tear and this little tear back here, but Dave, man. So, a little mini review. This is fucking awesome. I love the whole vibe. It sort of reminds me a little bit of Swans, a little bit of Fugazi. Just the minimal sort of bass-heavy throbbing I just love. Lungfish Indivisible is from 96, I think it is. 99. It's hard to read the dates, but on Discord, the first track, the self-titled track, Indivisible, is a monster. I love the sort of bass leading the way, the guitar's doing simple things. I like Higgs' voice. He does sound like a little bit like Michael Jura. Bit of a shellac thing going on. This is excellent. I'm going to look for more Lungfish. So yeah, I was just like, this would be cool to hear someone else's like milestone record for the first time. So here it is, Dave. Lungfish, Indivisible. I love it. I love it. Alright, that's that segment. There's more Dave Localbandography segments coming up. Let's talk about Kind of Blue. I have the original master recording MoFi edition, 45 RPM. I will not be buying the one step. I have talked about Kind of Blue. Okay, next. Let's show some 7 inches. I did this a bit on National Women's Day for that. Michael, my friend, Noted and Archived, showed this, or featured some of his favorite 7 inches, and I just wanted to run through some of mine quickly. We're going to do this somewhat quickly. I didn't show this on my Flying Nun video, but I did have Peter Jeffries' Robbie Muir on Ajax. Really great out there stuff. The first Beat Happening 7 inch. I'm a big fan of Beat Happening. I have just about everything, I think. I think I'm missing You Turn Me On. Original picture sleeve with Calvin, Brett, and Heather. And this is Our Secret and What's Important. The famous kitty cat. The Olivia Tremor Control and the Elephant 6 Collective. This is their first 7 inch, basically a long EP. I think it's technically a reissue. I think they did the insert with a color folded in, color folded in. So this is black and white. I kind of wonder if this is like a bootleg. I don't know if they bootleg this, but the artwork is all here folded up. Olivia Tremor Control, speaking of one of the great modern psychedelic groups from the mid-90s out of the Athens, Ruston, Georgia scene. Mazzy, this band has been recommended to you as modern psych, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but this is amazing. Olivia Tremor Control, truly wizards in the lo-fi realm, but making it sound psychedelic somehow still. Me and Michael talked a lot about Modest Mouse, and here's the first 7-inch Blue Cadet 3D Connect. This is supremely lo-fi, and on K as well. It's basically Isaac Brock by himself on a tape deck. Very primitive. Blue Cadet 3D Connect Dukes Up in wood grain. Recorded with Calvin Johnson at Dublin Narcotics. So really good, really you know, like I said, this is nation Modern Mouse. Nothing like where they are now, but I dig it because I like lo-fi stuff. The Great Shellac, Doris and Wingwalker with Uranus. I think this is the first or second 7. I don't even think this is on Touch and Go. It comes in like a folded, little like manila style. Yeah, it does have the insert. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like I like that they give the description of the recording situation. I'm pretty sure this is Shellac record number 2. Okay, so it's the second 7-inch. Love Shellac. We talked about Caliphone, Michael, and here's Red Red Meat. Sub Pop single. Tim Bertilli's first band. This is, I don't think this is a Sub Pop Singles Club. I think it's just a single. Flank and the intro and Lather. Good band, a good precursor to Caliphone. Original press of Pavement's Demolition Plot J7. I don't have the Slay Tracks EP, I would love to. But this includes a bunch of stuff that was compiled on Westing by Sextant, Musket and Sextant. Perfect Death, Internal K-Dart, Returner Garot, Recorder Garot, Forklift, 6 tracks, all very, you know, shrapnel-like. Pavement, sort of pre-slanted and enchanted. Amazing. This was not Drag City. Drag City did... Oh, it's Treble Kicker. I think it's Treble Kicker, I believe. I haven't researched these. A few more, Michael. OCs, you'll know, I think you'll know what cover this is ripping off, or I can't think of the word all of a sudden. Homage. An homage to a certain prog band's early record. This is actually a split with OCs and Paul Carey. Big collector of the OCs. Grouper. Yeah, I talked about the sound fix in the in-store with Regina Spektor on the first record store day. There's a sound fix sticker. Still on my Grouper 7-inch. This is the only 7-inch I have. It's Grouper and City Center split. On a opaque, sort of clear. Michael did a whole Grouper video, which was excellent. I have a big collector of Grouper as well. This is the only 7-inch I have though. Duster. The one 7-inch I have Transmission Flux on the up label. These Duster records have gotten very collectible, and I'm a huge Duster fan. I love the sparse, lo-fi, sort of slowcore, if you want to call it that. Duster. All-time favorite band, Mission of Burma. I can never get tired of listening to these records. This is Max Ernst, and that's when I reached for my revolver, I believe. No, Academy Fight Song. Whoops. Love Mission of Burma. So those are some 7-inches from Michael, noted and archived. Links to his channel below. Next, let's talk about some Japanese pressings for Dave Localbandography. I'm going to do these somewhat quick. This is the Rock Shaka label, and it's pretty new on the scene. This is Lee Perry's Play On Mr. Music, some Black Ark, unreleased stuff. Really good. I don't know. I think, Doug, you know these Rock Shaka label. I've got a couple of theirs. I bought this from Alex. I've shown this before. Motoric 247, Bobo Stenson, Harold Anderson, John Christensen underwear, Japanese press on ECM. Really great. Slightly sort of in a traditional mold, but pretty free and out there. This is the Studio Mule label in Japan, pressing up a Vanity Records rarity by a group called BGM. Background music. It's sort of post-punk. It's kind of a minimalist composer doing post-punk, hard to say. It's almost like ESG. This is really good. There's now a Vanity box set. Vanity is a very collectible Japanese label from the late 70s. I have a box set for one of their artists that they put in a box called Tolerance, which I will show at another time, but they've also put boxes together of all the releases from the Vanity label. This is the first, I haven't heard all of it, but out of everything I've heard, this is my favorite. It's called BGM, Background Music, and the reissue label for this was Studio Mule out of Japan. These are Japanese pressings. Some more reggae. You gotta talk about Dub Store Records, one of my all-time favorite artists, Count Ossie and the Mystic Revelation Band. Mystic Revelation of Rastafari. This is Gronation, a 3LP, originally released as a 3LP. This is not expanded. Just beautiful, deep, spiritual, Naibingi. For those that are like reggae, like dub, but maybe kind of bored with it, you got to check out Count Ossie, Ross Michael, Sons of Negus. They're really going almost spiritual jazz with dub and sort of roots reggae. It's a beautiful sound. This record's killer, as well as the other one I have with the Mystic Revelation of Rastafari. Amazing. Some rock steady stuff on the Dub Store label out of Japan. Derek Harriott, Rock Steady Party. Beautiful sleeve. Dub Store does great work. They reproduce all the sleeves, and the sound is always excellent. So, and one more, the label called MEM has done some great reissues. This is Brenda Ray, and I love this album. She's the English producer, sort of post-punk home recording whiz, who basically does dub. And this is her stuff with Nafi Sandwich, 7983. This is fucking incredible. I love all this stuff. It's like lo-fi, dub reggae, I guess. It's just strange and out there and beautiful. Brenda Ray. And she was in a bunch of different little mini projects, but they all sort of have Nafi in the name, which I'm told means, like, in England, in English, Nafi refers to sort of like something that's not worth anything. Maybe some of my English friends out there can tell me. I think it means like, nah, that's trash. That's Nafi, I think. Brenda Ray. French pressings, or I'm sorry, Japanese pressings for Dave. Let's talk about some French pressings for Dave. I like talking about pressings. This is the Super Eagles, Viva Super Eagles. I'm going to take all this out, but it's on the Decca France label. This is sort of some more high life and traditional African with a little bit of Afrobeat. Super Eagles. There's a little bit of West African jazz in on this. Hopefully that's not creating too much glare. I just don't want to take it fully out of all these sleeves. I got a lot of sleeves for some reason. I don't know what to do. This is an interesting record and one I don't have a lot like it. It's been reissued as Roberto Cacciapaglia's Ann Steele album, but it originally was just called the Ann Steele album. But Roberto Cacciapaglia, the Italian experimentalist and composer, is the songwriter and producer behind this, and Ann Steele is the vocalist. And this is basically really cool synth pop. That's what it is. Some really catchy songs. Yeah, concept and production by Roberto Cacciapaglia. This is a French press on Barclay from 1979. And it's just so unique. And I don't buy a lot of like synth pop, so to speak. I like more like post-punk and than new wave. I have some synth pop, more sort of synth, but this is fantastic. It's the kind of record that you put on in a party or in the store, and people are like, "What is this?" But that is a French pressing on Barclay. Here's another French pressing on the Zay or Celluloid or Zay. This is Rosa Yemen. This features Lizzie Mercier Desclous is her name, and she has some awesome albums in her own right. And this is the one record she did with this band called Rosa Yemen. Is there an insert? No. And it's just an EP with some really interesting sort of angular, punky, down-tempo sort of stuff. It's kind of no wave, really, more than anything. But this is the French Zay or Celluloid. I think they're all sort of related. Some more French pressings. An obvious classic, Blasé on Actuel, featuring the great Gene Lee, Malachi Flavors, and Lester Bowie. Gene Lee doing the vocal on this. Incredible. This is definitely known as a Shep must-have, and I would agree. It's a blazer. Let's keep moving. Dave, you showed Sun Ra and the Solar Myth Orchestra Volume 1. Here's Volume 2 on Actuel. Great. Yeah, as you said, this is not for novice Sun Ra listeners. You showed some Hot Casa. Great African reissue label. Ken Frimpong. Yeah, I think you showed Frimpong, or did you show someone else? I forget. But this is a great album. Maybe you showed this one, I'm forgetting. This is a High Life, yeah, as it says here, Afro Funk. This I just recently got. Need some more time with it. This is a unique one. Francis the Great on Hot Casa, French press. 2 tracks. This is I think he was, 6 or 7 years old? And it's sort of like a really long disco, funk, boogie. Hard to describe. And he sings. And it's super enjoyable, I think. Some might find it to be a little gimmicky, but it's just fun. It's just fun. It's sort of a little bit like William Onyebor. The track just keeps running and running. It's great. It's so great. It's just called Rabasante Baby. The year. Well, it's 2015 reissue. I think it's 77. 7 years old. It was released in 1977. And something else. The Gories, a French press of House Rockin'. Great band, of course, with Mick Collins. This is a fan club reissue. This is just great raw garage rock by the Gories. Okay, so those are my French and Japanese pressings for Dave. Last topic is some modern Psych for Mazzy. I'm going to do these quick so the video will not be incredibly long, but I'll save my favorite for last. I consider, just like you said, Mazzy, 1980 and beyond, I think, of modern. Most of the stuff is more recent, though. These are all true heavy-duty psychedelic records. Black Moth Super Rainbow, their sort of most acclaimed album. Dandelion Gum. This is the original press that's supposed to smell like bubblegum. Maybe it did at one time, it doesn't anymore. This is really interesting. Who do they sound like? Yeah, they toured with the Flaming Lips. They don't sound like the Flaming Lips. It's sort of like a little bit of Can, a little bit of the Elephants. I don't know. It's hard to pin down. It's a little hip hop influenced. It's a really interesting mix. But this is called Dandelion Gum. I have a couple of records by them. They have a bunch. This is, I think, the first solo record for Sonic Boom of Spaceman 3. This is a reissue, not the original, although I think this is now hard to get. This is a beautiful album. It's got the... Look at that. Now that's psychedelic. This is a replication of what the original was like, too. This is from, I think, let's see if I can get the year. The original year, anyway. I want to say about 1990 to 93, somewhere in there. This is on the Vinilissimo reissue label. There's Pete Kember. I think it's recorded right on the same time they did Recurring Spaceman 3. This features a bunch of different Spaceman 3 people. Will Carruthers, Jazz Butcher. In any case, real dense, hazy, great. If you like the Spaceman 3 and Spiritualized, you really, psychedelic-wise, it can't get much more far out than that. Flying Saucer Attack, big fan of them. This is one of my favorites, if not my favorites. New Lands, issued here on Drag City. They call this rural lo-fi psychedelia. And I know Stunty's a fan. This is from 95, I think it is. A band I've not yet talked about, but I will. I think I'm going to do a whole feature on them. Broadcast. A great English sort of experimental pop, electronic, psychedelic project. With the late Trish Keenan, the vocalist, who passed away in 2011. I got a chance to see them once. This is a B-sides collection. They did a lot of singles. This is called Future Crayon. I have all their records. I'm a huge fan of Broadcast, and a band that, if you don't know, you should. And I'm going to do an artist spotlight on that. And here's one of my favorite modern psych records. Mazzy, you talked about Ripley Johnson, Rose City Band, and Wooden Ships. I like those bands. I have one Rose City Band record. But he also did this project with Sine, I forget, she's a Japanese woman, Ripley and Sine, called Moon Duo, I believe. This is Escape, kind of a long EP or an album. I think they're still doing records together as Moon Duo. I'm not sure when the last one was, a few years ago. But it's called Escape, and it's on the Woodsist label out of Brooklyn. And this track here, In the Trees, this is the one track I'm going to put in this video. It is massive. I used to play this thing all the time when I worked at Kim's in Manhattan. This record came out there and we just played it constantly. It's a 4-track EP. And the In the Trees track is just a brain bender. It's so good. It's just monstrous. It's got a Hawkwind sort of massive sound to it, but it's heavy. Very simple plotting, minimal drums. Just big. Just big. Real sort of big fat major chords. Heavy duty. This is Escape. I think this is 2009 and 10. It came out in 2010. This is one of their earliest EPs. Ripley Johnson's awesome. I love Ripley Johnson. So check out this Moon Duo record, Mazzy. Alright, I think that's everything. I'll just show real quick. Last few things. I'm reading, I've pulled out my Vampire Vultures book. Not actually signed by John Fay, it came like that, but it's a nice book to have. I also just got in the mail 2 days ago, the Don Cherry Organic Music Society book. Alex, you hooked me. This is beautiful though, I'm looking forward to digging into this. And last but not least, I found a Misfits tape at a garage sale for a couple of bucks, so can't ever turn down Misfits, especially on tape. Best way of hearing. Okay, that's it. There's a lot of different updates and a lot of different stuff going on, so I hope you dug that. Thank you, everyone. Shout outs to everyone. Enjoy your record store day. Enjoy your lives. Enjoy your records one way or another. I hope everyone is well.